Oh, what's up, everybody? This is Chris, and this is Barn on 11970, and I can already see me giving the advance notice when I have something to say is going to be interesting at times, so I didn't do that this time, because I wasn't expecting to make another video until I heard some of the absolute propaganda and rhetoric that you are going to hear from mainstream media news. It's actually, it's almost comical at this point. So before I get into it, I want to wait for people to realize that I'm making another video. And it's funny, last night I wasn't sure if I would have a topic to discuss. And of course, mainstream media does not disappoint. It almost makes me disappointed I don't have cable anymore so I could watch this stuff more, but I could do it on the internet. So that's incredibly fine. So I'm going to do some screenshots here, and we're going to put some things into proper perspective. But as usual, if you want to ask questions, the best way to do it is to follow me on Google+. If you follow me there, you can open up a screen and you will be able to ask questions, but it would have to be on my Google+ account. They can't do it on the YouTube. So if you don't have Google+, just make a quick account so you can. But as you could see, this is titled, "Why is the mainstream media so blankety, blankety, blankety sad?" And what I just heard from a person, and again, I'm going to do some screenshots, I'm going to show you stuff, and I'm going to show you examples of how easily they can manipulate people, because the average person is not even going to check this stuff. So basically, politicians, the media, corporations, they're all counting on the fact that 99% of the people will never verify or check into anything that they talk about, and you'll just automatically assume it to be true because it was said by a person in a suit and tie, or a person in a very, very expensive outfit with a college degree, and they're going to assume, well, they said it, they're professionals, they must know. So they're counting on the fact the people, again, choose to be willfully ignorant. Now, I'm going to do a couple of screen shares, and obviously, if not a lot of people see this live, they will at least be able to see it after it's recorded. To me, it doesn't matter when they see it, as long as they do see it. So, let's start here. Okay, first thing you're going to see is where I've been doing my reviews again, listening to what's going on. And they were doing, I had to pause this and make a video, because of course this is CNN, which is all mainstream media is garbage, it's propaganda, it's lies and everything like that. But it's just, if you listen to if you know this propaganda, you can hear it. And it's like I said last night, and not many people watched the video I did last night, but I was telling you, I guarantee you the mainstream media, all they're going to talk about today is Ted Cruz and what he did. They're not going to focus on anything else, which is typical mainstream media propaganda. But this is one of the other things they're focusing on today. They're focusing on the fact saying that the Republican Party is not united, and how the Democratic Party is going to basically use that and say, oh, look how united we are. Now, here's the part what they don't tell you, or you may not think in a deeper level. And I always tell people, think in deeper levels, okay? Yes, people can be united. That does not mean that what they are united in is good. Because let's ask you, ladies and gentlemen, were the Nazis united? Are Satan worshippers united? How about the Klansmen, KKK members? Are they united? I'm sure they can be. Does that necessarily mean it's something good? So again, basically people will tell you words that you just assume mean a certain way. But like I've always said, perception is based on the person. And you're right to be different, even if you're seeing or hearing the same exact thing. I like to listen on a deeper level. So when they talk about how, and I can guarantee you without even seeing 1 ounce of the Democratic Convention, they are going to say and use their format of, oh, look how united we are. You should stand with us because look at our unity. Look over there, they're all not united. Well, one of the main reasons is they're politicians. They are all united to steal your money, to corrupt the system, to make more laws. So yes, they're united. They're all actually united, even though there seems to be separation. Make no mistake. But here's the part that it just shows the average person's willful ignorance. Now, let me go to my screenshot so you could see this. This woman right here, they were asking a question. They were talking about the unity. And she started talking about the fact that the Republicans aren't unified and the Democrats are, and they can't believe. And then Wolf Blitzer or Splitzer or Schnauzer, whatever his name is, I don't care, basically asked, the Republican Party's theme is America's not doing that well. And this woman is trying to convince everybody, saying how great America's been in the last 7 years. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of things to counteract her stupidity and absolute ridiculous propaganda. She's trying to tell you that things have gotten better in the past 7 years. Now, if you notice about things like the Black Lives Matter. Now, I'm going to say all lives matter. But yes, of course, Black lives matter too. So do Asian lives. So do women's lives. So do gay men and women's lives. Everybody's lives matter. Okay, but yes, of course, Black lives matter as well. We all should matter. Now, they're trying to get you into this whole fear propaganda, talking about the fact of, look at all these shootings, look at all these deaths. Whether they're staged or not, I don't know, I don't care. But whose administration has it fallen under? It's fallen under Obama's. Now, they're not putting him under the bus, even though all of these murders have happened under his administration, correct? Right or wrong? Okay. So safety in this time, has it gotten better or has it gotten worse? Well, according to what's going on now, there's a lot more shootings. Last I checked, Obama's still president, correct? Now, I'm not going biased because, like I said, no one is going to fix the system because it's a corrupt system. But I'm keeping it real here. So she tried to tell this audience, and you could watch this because the beautiful thing about these live shows, you could rewind it. So you could listen to this. It's the Live News Republican National Convention, CNN live stream, Donald Trump, blah, blah, blah. So you could watch this and listen to it for yourself. And as you can see here, the time posted when that part of the video was going is 1:55 p.m. And she will tell you how things have gotten better. But she didn't necessarily say who it is better for. Now, if you're a politician, things have gotten better for you. If you're one of the elitist 1%, things have definitely gotten better for you. Why? Because people are losing their homes. They're buying them up. People are selling everything they can. People are buying them up. People are losing their property and their possessions. They're buying them up and probably getting them for very cheap prices. So if you're a corporation, a very well-off corporation, you're making lots of money. Things are definitely getting better for you. All you have to do is sell your product, make your products overseas so you don't have to pay all those different taxes, and you could pay unfair laborers to people overseas and take advantage of the system so you could make more of a profit. So yeah, it's going to get better for you, but is it getting better for the average person? Well, you could say whatever you want. I'm going to show you two statistics. I want you guys to look at the debt. Now, I want to see, I think there was something. Okay, let's first go back in time. The debt clock time machine. Let's go back to 2004. And let's see what the debt was. Well, you know what? Let's stick with Obama's administration. Well, you know what? Let's stick with that. So 2008. Let's go back in time, ladies and gentlemen. The U.S. debt in 2008, when Barack Obama became president, was $10,419,992, and et cetera, et cetera. Average debt per citizen, really look up that word, look up the legal term of citizen, 34,000. Okay, so when Obama started office, the debt was $10 trillion. So let's go back to the real time. 2016, 8 years later. Wow, look at this. The debt has almost doubled to $19.35 trillion. Ladies and gentlemen, is that improvement? And the debt went from 34,000 per citizen to 59,000 per citizen. Do you think the average person is making over 60 grand a year? Probably not. I mean, let's be honest. With your combined incomes, if you're married, you'd be lucky to reach that number. And that's just to pay off your supposed part of the debt. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, that woman who most people will listen to, because people listen to the mainstream media and say, oh, she says things are good and things are actually getting better. Oh, I guess that must be true. There's the fact. The debt has doubled in 8 years. Let's go to another statistic. Here is the welfare system. She was saying how America's great. How many politicians are telling you, oh, America, the economy's doing well. And Obama and the politicians have helped. Okay, here we go. This is as of January of 2016. Total number of Americans on welfare, I thought it was in the 30 millions. 110.5 million Americans are on welfare. 41 million are on food stamps. 10 million are on unemployment insurance, which, by the way, only lasts for 6 months. And then they take you off of it. Percent of U.S. population on welfare, 35.4%. That is, ladies and gentlemen, almost like, notice this, because 50% is half the population. We are 15% away from half of Americans on welfare. Does that seem like there is a recovery? Now, again, the people that watch my channel, and there's not millions, I would probably, without even looking, I bet there's 20 people looking at this live show right now. Oh, there's 11. Shows how much people care. Because they don't want to hear the facts. They want to be cuddled. They want to be willfully ignorant. Show this to people that you care about. Total government spending on welfare annually, which not including food stamps or unemployment, 131.9, so $132 billion a year, not including food stamps or unemployment. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This should shock some of the people. Percentage of recipients who are white, 38.8%. So they want to give you this whole thing that minorities are in trouble. Now, look at percentage of recipients who are black, 39.8. So they are 1% higher. Hispanic, 15%. Asian, 2%. Other categories, 3.3. It's nice to know everybody else is listed as other. Total amount of money you can make monthly and still receive welfare. So you could make $1,000 a month and still receive welfare. But look at that statistic. They're telling you, oh, it's all the poor African Americans, and it should be all poor, all Americans, because it's pretty dead even. Here's the numbers. You could see it yourself. This is the actual welfare statistics. This is not some random website. Do you get it? People don't want to check this. I want to know. Show it to any of your coworkers. Show this to any of your friends. Show this to any of your family members. I guarantee you not one of them has even bothered to look up any of these things. Tell me how America's great when we're 19 trillion and counting in debt. We owe money. If you have $0, you are better off than the U.S. economy. And again, people don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to wave their flags. They want to throw up the balloons. They want to pretend it's fine. They're going to listen to the next latest pop star and video and watch the next drama video on YouTube that gets millions of views because, you know, that's important. So right now I have 10 people that give a crap. Thank you for those 10 people who give a crap. Obviously, my voice is not going to be heard. Because why? I'm a voice of reason. The numbers speak for themselves. And these garbage sellout traitors called the mainstream media, and I'm not just going to pick on CNN, because this is all over mainstream media. They are bought and sold and tell you what you want to hear because they know the average person is too willfully ignorant by choice to look up anything. That's why at any convention, it'll happen to the Democratic one, or they might as well call it the demonic one. I don't know why they call them Republicans, because we're not a republic, not anymore. But every time they'll say, oh, We got to make America great again, or America is already great. Yeah, you'll wave your flags, you'll cheer. It sounds good. The proof is in the pudding, ladies and gentlemen. There's the debt. Look how fast it goes up. Let's see what the debt is projected to be in 2020, just 4 short years from now. And that's projected, keep in mind. 2020. Time machine. $21 trillion in debt. I seriously doubt that is going to be the case, because it's doubled in 8 years. Let's see what 1980 was. And this, again, this is usdebtclock.org. So in 1980, the U.S. debt was $898 billion. Average debt per citizen, 4,106. I mean, do people not want to see this? And you can look this up on the internet. How often do people do it? They don't. Most people don't even know this exists. But there you go. 19 trillion counting. Interest alone, $2 trillion. Here's the total U.S. debt. That's just the U.S. national debt. Here's the total. $65.8 trillion. Let's see what that was when wonderful Obama, who supposedly came in to create change, because look, that's all you're going to have left in your bank account is change. All right, so the total national debt now is 65 trillion. That's all the debts that we owe. Let's see, 50 trillion when he started. So it's gone up $15 trillion. Does that sound like improvement? Well, it does if you're loaning out that money. If you're the Federal Reserve, who is a foreign-owned bank owned by shareholders, it's not part of the America, of the Americas. It's owned by the shareholders we bailed out. They're loaning you digital dollars that you have to turn around when you borrow and work. Use your slavery by basically volunteering your servitude. Please learn the 13th Amendment, what it really means. And you have to make all these paper dollars to pay it back plus interest. So yes, it's getting better, just not for you. Federal Reserve is loving this, because look, every country around the world is having financial problems. That's why they're trying to control their currency by printing more of their money, quote unquote, decreasing its value. They're all doing it. So who's profiting? Well, looks like it's the Federal Reserve. And yet no politician, whether it be Trump or Hillary Clinton or anyone else for that matter, will ever say, you know what we need to do, people of America and people of the world, but let's just say people of America. What we need to do is stop borrowing money from a Federal Reserve, because the Federal Reserve is a private bank that we owe interest to, and you as the taxpayers have to pay that debt. But if we make our own money from the U.S. Treasury or the U.S. Mint, well, we wouldn't be borrowing money from a foreign bank. That would save the taxpayers trillions of dollars. You don't think the people would love that? Why is it no politician will talk about that? Donald Trump isn't talking about it. And yes, I did make a video saying that I think he should be president. But if you don't understand why, and the people that thumbed it down just don't get it, because they didn't watch the video. They just said, oh, you like Trump? Got to thumb that down. Got to bring the bots. Got to bring the trolls. You're only hurting yourselves, choosing to be willfully ignorant. And most people are not going to listen to what I say, or not even like what I say, because it's the truth. They don't want to hear it, but you will, because that debt clock is not going to be endless. One day it will reach to a point where it's too expensive for you to survive. Right now, the debt, let's go back to the real world. Come on now, any moment. Okay, so it went from 30,000 per citizen to 60,000 per citizen. Again, look up the legal term of citizen. It means you're a corporation. I've already explained this, but people don't want to get it because it sounds weird. And of course, if it sounds weird, it must be untrue. Okay, what's going to happen when the debt becomes 100,000 per citizen, 200,000 per citizen, 500,000 per citizen, 1 million per citizen. See where I'm getting? Eventually it will get to the point where nobody could ever repay it. You can't even repay it now, because if they did, they would. And they keep borrowing money. They keep telling you, got to raise that debt ceiling, got to make sure you don't fall off that fiscal cliff, got to pretend to continue to be willfully ignorant, and we'll get people on the media, we'll tell the politicians on both sides of the party, oh, everything's great, economy's doing wonderful, we're improving, life is better, just not for you. They won't say that part. They'll say life is better. And because they only make you assume, they're technically not lying. So when Obama said, oh, we'll make change, he didn't lie. Look at your bank account. I'm sure there's probably nothing but change in it. And I'm sure the change was not meant for you, but he didn't say that, did he? None of these presidents, none of these politicians do. They talk about integrity and honesty. Come on. All of them are full of shit. All of them. And yet, time and time again, every 4 years or every 8 years, depending on if a person gets elected again, we'll keep saying, oh, we'll have our new savior. This person will save it. And yet they'll keep telling you, oh, America's great. The world's wonderful. Everything's going wonderful. Just stay asleep. Don't research. Listen to us. Believe what we have to say. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. So again, the people that watch my channel, they get it. You guys and girls understand it. You're the ones that have chosen to no longer be willfully ignorant. But we're up against the majority of people who choose. They're not asleep. They're not stupid. They're willfully ignorant. For whatever reason. For convenience. And the people that get paid to troll those channels and troll my channel and other people's channels, the bots, computer programs, and the people who get paid to do it. One day your money is going to be just as worthless as everybody else's. The only problem is you believe their corrupt system so much that you didn't do anything to protect you and your family. Sucks for you, but again, your choice. The beautiful thing about a choice is you can change it. Or continue down your path, keep trusting in your politicians, keep trusting what the media says, even though the proof is telling you so much of the opposite of what they're saying. You'll find out soon enough, but when you do find out, it'll be too late for you to do anything about it. And you'll blame the media then, you'll blame the politicians then, you'll blame God then, instead of blaming yourself for not doing anything about it, because you didn't think it would happen, because you thought this time will be the exception, even though they're doing everything that all the other governments throughout history have ever done, which led to a 100% failure rate in the economic system of their time and country. But I'm sure this will be the exception. They've just made the balloon a lot bigger, so it takes a lot longer for it to explode. But here's the thing. The bigger the balloon, and the more air you put into it, especially hot air, the bigger the explosion. So yes, you have a small little balloon and fill it with air, it'll pop. It won't do much. They just keep making a bigger and bigger balloon until eventually there's no more room to make a balloon any bigger. And when that will take longer to fill, but when it does, that's one hell of a boom. So think of the economy back in, for example, 1933. Think of the economy, or let's say 1980, when we had the chance to actually go on the gold standard again and actually have, instead of a deficit, a surplus. We actually reached that point where they were even, and they chose not to go the honest route. Think of that as a tiny little snap. You know those snaps, that white little thing that you throw down on the ground, makes that little snap? It'd make a little noise, but it wouldn't hurt you. And then it's turned into a little firecracker. Yeah, it'd sting, but it wouldn't kill you. Now, we're a nuclear weapon. It would have been a little bit of a damage in the beginning, but now, when it explodes, it's going to create havoc for lots of people who chose to be willfully ignorant. And that's why if you look throughout history, there have always been catastrophes. There have always been bad situations. There have been floods. There have been droughts. There have been famines. There have been wars. There have been extinctionary events, supposedly. And yet we're still here, which means the smartest people will always survive. So all the ones that laugh and are laughing now because people like me and others are at the moment wrong when it comes to economies collapsing, just wait. You'll see. And we'll be the ones laughing as those people are trying to find anything that they can. Because I'll tell you this much, especially the people that collect metals, they collect a lot of gold and silver to protect themselves. I guarantee you a lot of them collect another type of metal called lead. So again, this is not fear, this is reality. If you don't want to hear it, and you'd rather live in your willfully ignorant dream world, then by all means, shut off channels like mine, who don't script their words, who speak from the heart, who are trying to help other people, who are questioning situations instead of just accepting them. Shut this off if you don't agree with it. Go watch Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. They'll pander your ego and tell you how America and the world is great, how we're going to fix it this time around, how we are all unified, and how we're going to make change. And when you realize the only change you have left is in your pocket, good luck. So thanks for watching. The few people that care enough to want to listen to truth, my recommendation is to show this to people who you know are willfully ignorant. And that's not an insult. It's a choice. Choices can be changed. So if you care about somebody enough, you will never give up on them. And you will say it is time to no longer choose to be willfully ignorant. Because they're not asleep. They see the writing on the wall. I mean, you see comedians for decades talking about how bad the economy is, and oh, it's a joke that, you know, priests are always raping young men, and all these other things that are going on. And the priests or the politicians that talk about gay rights and everything have been caught with gay lovers. A lot of hypocrisy to the point where people make jokes out of it. It's time to stop joking and time to start changing and start realizing that things are not what they seem. People are so afraid to pull back that curtain because they're afraid there's a monster behind it. The monster is the illusion. It's just the man behind the curtain. So start verifying things. And if you want to believe the mainstream media is telling you everything's fine, don't worry, nothing to see here. Go back to your controlled lives. Turn on your television so we can fill you with our TV programming. And continue to make your choices. Because remember, slavery is defined by involuntary servitude. You choose to do things, you're volunteering your servitude. So they're not breaking any laws. They're giving you a choice. It's not their fault you choose to not understand it. So we have two little questions. Sunbeam Sting says, awesome info. Thanks, Barnun. I appreciate it. Barnun 11970 for president. In a corrupt system, even I couldn't make change because I'd be shot. First of all, I don't have the money to become president. I have to be a part of the as Gerald Celente said, is the white shoe gang. So I don't have the money. You need money. You need to be wealthy, extremely wealthy, and have very extremely wealthy friends to be even considered as president. I appreciate the thought. But in this corrupt system, people that want to make legitimate change and really want to speak the truth, you'll never have a chance in hell to become president. You have to be part of the club. You have to give up, you have to show off those signs and say, I'm part of that whole thing. Because remember, they always talk about God. God bless America. God bless the people. Well, which God are they referring to? Again, you make assumptions. If you're a Roman, you had many gods. If you live in China, you're probably more likely to worship whatever God that they have. In America, you're probably Christian. Israel, probably Jewish. So which God are you referring to? There's many. You live in India, isn't it Gilgamesh? Or, I'm sorry, not Gilgamesh. Buddha? So which God are they referring to? It's not a name, it's a title. If I ask you your name and your name is John Smith, you're not going to say, if I say, hey, what's your name? Human. But yet, God bless. And again, I've said, look at your dollar bill. Your dollar bill, which, by the way, money is supposedly the root of all evil. Your dollar bill says, in God we trust. Tell your friends or family workers or co-workers that you know are choosing to be willfully ignorant. Tell them to take out a dollar bill. It says on it, in God we trust, right? Do you see any crosses? Do you see any angels? Do you see any clouds with the bright rays in the sky? Do you see any white bearded man that looks like God in a white robe? No, you see Egyptian symbols, you see single eyes, you see pagan stars. So which God do you think that is? But again, you can assume all you want. They are counting on you to be willfully ignorant, to consent through your silence, to volunteer your servitude. Starting to get it. They can't make you do anything, but they sure as hell can trick you, or convince you, or bribe you into doing your own demise. Kind of sounds dumb when you put it in proper perspective. It's all choice. Even when you choose to make fun of people like me, even if you choose to ignore people like me, even if you choose to not believe people like me, you're only hurting yourself. You're only hurting your family. You're only hurting your fellow Americans and your fellow humans. Congratulations on that achievement. And of course, the people listening, they're not the problem. My trolls, they're not listening. They just say, oh, Chris made a video, got to thumb it down. Got to show the hate. They don't want to see these numbers. And, go to anybody that says, oh, America's great. America's doing wonderful. In the past 7 years, nothing but great things have happened. But yet more people are being murdered. Welfare, as you can see, skyrocketing. Our debt has doubled. I'd love to show that woman that was on that show. Love to show her this wonderful sellout and all the wonderful sellouts. I'd love to show them those numbers and see how they can get around that. They can't. That's why they don't show them. Do as I say, not as I do. So that will be the last, probably last, video I make today. But one last question, 777, got 2 thumbs up. So there you go. I'm sure Sunbeam thumbed it up, and thank you if you did. He says, I'm beginning to think that most events are either created to make money or converted to a way to make money. Of course, that's what it's all about. To get your currency. Remember, it's not money. Old habits die hard. Tell a lie long enough, it becomes the truth. They want people to not think for themselves. Oh, we'll take care of you. Wave your flags. Give us your money. Believe what we say. Do as you're told. Pay your taxes and look the other way while we rape you financially blind. And then we'll just blame it on the president, or because he's a punching bag. We'll make you think another one will come along and do something, even though none of them have made the life better for us. Last person that tried was Kennedy, and look what happened to him. When do people get it? I can't be one of the few that get it. But sadly, we're definitely not even remotely close to an amount that matters. You guys can help me change that. I can't do it on my own. So thank you very much for listening. Always appreciate it. Thank you for the 2 people that left the question and statements. If you want to leave comments after this video uploads, if you want to share it, you're going to help. My project, for those who care, is somebody that is a friend or a loved one or a coworker that you care about and you want to enlighten by waking them up to the reality, then show them this video, share this video. If no one wants to do it, that's fine. Nothing I can do about that. So Sunbeam says, wow, 110 million Americans on welfare. Germany, it's 2,081 million. Or 2.81 million, I guess. But they'll keep telling you America's great. So they're hoping you won't check these things. The numbers are right there. And those are the numbers they report. So again, crucial thing. They're always trying to separate, divide and conquer. That blacks and whites don't suffer on the same. 39.8% are blacks on welfare. 38.8 whites. That sound unfair? Sounds pretty even if you ask me. Everybody's suffering, but they can get you to hate each other based on the color of the skin. You won't bother to check this. You'll just believe what they say. Everybody's suffering. But please, think of just one of your group. Yeah, that's not divide and conquer. That's not being selfish. That's why when they say things like Black Lives Matter, or feminist lives matter, or people with 3 feet lives matter, no, it's everybody's lives matter. Until people can get past the vanity and the me, we are never going to change, and we're going to continue to fall into this repeated, endless cycle of willful ignorance. I choose not to do that, even with the face of being humiliated, insulted, and attacked and ignored. Because I'm doing what I believe to be right. And it's about damn time other people get up off their asses and start doing it. Otherwise, why are people complaining? And they're going to get what they deserve, which is the illusion that everything's wonderful. Sorry I don't have rainbows and sunshine in this reality that we chose to live in. We could make it rainbows and sunshine if we started fixing the people that are killing the rainbows and sunshine. Thanks for watching. My name is Chris. If you want to subscribe, wonderful. If not, have a great day and happy illusion. Because remember, guys, life is but a dream.